So it's not like the yogis didn't try. But the yogis realized we are speaking different languages. Our paradigms are different. See, because the way the argument is constructed, if you try to work from the scientific paradigm, you lose even before you begin. Now, I'm not going to let anybody come and tell me that my knowledge of the Kundalini is just chemical misfiring of my brain, because I know how it it has transformed me, or that my experience of the chakras is just an imagination or indigestion. So we need to be very clear about that. We don't need to defend it on false terms. I wouldn't even say false terms, I'm merely saying different terms. We don't need to defend what has been an enduring metaphysics, an enduring theology, an enduring and working system, an enduring transformational system in terms of a new paradigm that is hardly 400 years old. This is over 6,000 years old. And it's renewed with every generation. Every new generation of yogis has to find and add value. I'm talking about yoga because that is what I know the most. But I'm talking about most things. You don't try to defend music in terms of, you can scientifically analyze it, but that all the scientific knowledge is not going to make you a good singer or a good player of an instrument. It functions from a different level of capability, talent and ability. That has its own validity. It is not scientific. No matter how much you train somebody, if they don't have that natural innate faculty in them, they are not going to be a good singer. So the objection they have to all these yogic processes is the results vary, the results don't happen. But the results vary even in painting, or even in dance, or even in music, or even in sports. Does that mean that all those things are also inauthentic? No, it only means they are not scientific. So yes, science is hugely important, but that does not mean it is the only way of knowing. It does not mean that it is the only form of knowledge. Or it does not mean it is the only form of truth. And that is very important, because you see, in our culture, truth has always been the central thing. Satyameva jayate, sada sadeva jayate. On our national motto, we have only part of the saying. We have only Satyameva jayate. It is truth wins, and it always and only truth wins. So for the sake of truth, we need to drop these foolish notions. We need to stop this cringing inferiority that we have before what we think are the dominant paradigms, because these paradigms come and go. These paradigms come and go. Yoga has been around, and yoga will continue to be around, God willing, as long as there are enough sincere and authentic people to do it. So we shouldn't keep saying, we should stop this foolishness. We should stop this foolishness of what Swami Vivekananda used to say, that every village superstition is told that, it is in the Vedas. It is not in the Vedas. Most people have not even seen the Vedas, forget reading it. In school we are all taught the Vedas are the holy books of the Hindus. How many of you here have a copy of the Vedas at home? End of story. So it's just so that is the reason why I'm saying we have to stand on our own terms and by our own definitions. Why not? It is providing immeasurable value. Why are we constricting ourselves in this manner? Why are we trying to gain the approval of people who by definition will reject us? We need to speak more firmly. No, it is not a scientific process. It is a different kind of process. It is a creative process. It is an experiential process. It is not scientific, but that doesn't mean there is no experience to it. And it doesn't mean there isn't a vast body of literature, and they are written by very authentic and truthful men and women who would die rather than lie about what they are experiencing. Or, so to say that it is all made up stories also is not true. Yes, a lot of mythology is just imagination run riot, but when you're talking about yogic processes and what is possible in yoga, should be a little humility. Because once you get into yoga, you start realizing that our knowledge about our body is so limited. The human body is such a fantastic organism, and it is a still evolving organism, and yoga is the only thing in the world that really understands. Science knows that the human is evolving. Yoga says it can be consciously evolved. Yoga actually knows that the human being can be consciously evolved, and there are processes to do it. They don't say it out in public because they're not interested in gaining any kind of stamp of scientific authenticity. But we should stop. I think yoga can stand on its own feet, spiritual processes can stand on its own feet. It doesn't need the support or the prop of being scientific. They're not scientific, it is an experiential truth, and that is enough. Yes? Meditation.